Borderlands 4 just got an absolutely massive update in terms of the overall substance that is inside of it, and today I'm going to be breaking down the most important changes that you need to hear. We're also going to be going over their new roadmap, which in my opinion does more to confuse players than it does to hype them up, but we'll get into all of that. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like on it and let's get right into it. Starting off first, the evil frogman is excited because finally photo mode has arrived inside of Borderlands 4. Now, there is some gameplay of this on screen right now. This has been in the works for a good long while now. I reported back when the first bounty pack, How Rush Saved Mercenary Day, came out for the game, that the assets for photo mode were already in the files of Borderlands 4. At the time, Gearbox said that they needed more time to work on it, but work was wrapping up, and it finally has, now dropping on the 29th here, with the full-fledged feature in game. You can access it from your pause menu, and I actually want to give some praise to this feature because it actually feels basically identical to the Borderlands 3 one, which I know is going to sound like an odd compliment to give, but genuinely, when it comes to sequels in games, the one thing that I personally cannot stand is when a feature comes back and it just feels completely and utterly different in the worst way, especially when it comes to UI, because I personally am a major UI snob. I take UI very, very seriously in games, and I do not like bad UI. So I'm thankful that it's back and basically identical to what it was in BL3, but let me know if you agree or disagree in the comment section down below. Next up, we're going to go into some more of the general fixes and changes in the game. Number one, they have addressed a report with Vault Hunters in Borderlands 4, where critical hit damage sometimes was not being applied to critical hits, which is a major problem, so I'm glad that that has at least been squashed. And Gearbox actually came in here with a major sweeping change to Harlowe's skill 0 point with a complete rework here. And I've got the changes listed for what they've done on Harlowe on screen, and sadly I don't play Harlowe, so I can't tell you if these are good or bad, so I'm going to have to consult with the jury here. What do you guys think? Please let me know in the comment section down below. I do really want to know if this is good or not, because this also sets a precedent for what they're going to do to other Vault Hunters in the future. As we know, Eamon has a lot of problems with other trees, and so I think there is a very, very, very big problem here if this is a bad change and they're going to apply this principle going forward. Now, moving on to the world event section here, I want to talk about this, but not in the most positive light. Now, a lot of changes were made to bosses today, and one change was made to rift bubbles today, but it's under the world event section. They mentioned that they've increased the spawn rate of world bosses in the punitive manufacturer area in the world, and also that rewards will now reliably spawn when completing the airship or Gordello world events. But they don't actually do anything in this section to increase the spawn chance of the world events, which is something that I've wanted to see for a while now. And why do I want to see this happen? It's not because this is the most fun content, but it's because this is something that exists in the game right now. There is a struct value that they can change in the game right now that will up the chance of seeing these world events. Let me do a little pop quiz for you guys. How many of you in Borderlands 4 have seen the creep impact, the airship, and the Gordello event? All three of them. This can be a helpful way to get some feedback to the developers. I want you to leave a comment in the comment section down below. How many of you have seen all three world events in Borderlands 4? I would have really liked to see some changes in this update, increasing that chance so we can then build upon these events in the future, making them harder, potentially making them replayable, and making them have exclusive loot. That would give more of a reason to do them in the world and be a good step in the right direction to getting the world of Borderlands 4 feeling more alive and more replayable, because right now a lot of it does feel like it's pretty dead. Now, another massive change that was made today was in UVH levels. They actually added a change to the game where UVH levels will now increase dedicated loot drop levels. Now, this applies to not only dedicated loot, but also it looks like it applies to cash and Eridium also, which is a good step in the right direction, and it scales based on your UVH level. Now, I don't have the exact values, mainly because they did not provide them in their notes, but I am working on having this data mined, and as soon as that is done, I will be updating it on the Mobalytics loot guide article that I mentioned last week. So if you want to go and get all of the new data mine drop rates, you'll find it over there. And if you're curious when that will be done, I will also tweet out on Twitter when we are finished. It's probably already up if you're watching this video. So if you're not following me on Twitter at EpicNNG, that is where you need to be. And just to finish off with what we're going to talk about on the notes for today's video, they have said that now you will no longer need to, or at least hopefully, keep rebuilding shaders after a new update to the game thanks to a new update from Nvidia. There's also been updates to overall optimization, including optimization in the main menu and also optimization in the UI, which is always good to hear, but it's something which is also good to see if you see it. So let me know if you see that in the comment section down below. And finally, I want to talk a little bit about the new roadmap for Borderlands 4. Now, first of all, Gearbox do talk a bit more about some interesting stuff, mainly being that a level cap is coming to Borderlands 4 in the future. I'm not going to get into that because you know how I feel about level caps, but there's the news. They are going to be doing a level cap. And they also mention, much like we already know, that Pearls are coming, and while Pearls will be a free update to every player, there is going to be some Pearls that are DLC locked, which I think everybody expected, but there's now just confirmation of that. And of course, you're already looking at it, we have an updated look at the new roadmap for Borderlands 4. Now, there's some stuff that I want to talk about here to provide some much needed non-rage bait feedback to the devs. But before we get to that, let's mention the biggest news here, that takedowns have been shifted from quarter 4 2026 down to quarter 2, where it says they will be releasing their first takedown. So very interesting stuff there. It seems like takedowns have been increased in priority to get out into the game. So it does look like the feedback overall is getting the message through to Gearbox and 2K that we want endgame content. We want stuff to play after we're done with the game. It's crazy that we are repeating this cycle for what feels like the third game in a row, but nonetheless, great news. Now, let's talk about this actual roadmap because I've already delivered some feedback on Twitter about this, but I want to go over this with you guys as well and just have a little rant and a discussion with you about this quote roadmap. Now, in my opinion, the idea of a roadmap is so that you show the player what is coming exactly when. You tell the player, hey, if you're working in June, maybe you should take this portion of June off because in June we have this dropping. The idea of a roadmap is to accurately depict what players can expect when. So typically you might see, hey, March, April, May, June, July, this content is dropping. And beyond that, you can expect this content, and this content, but we don't have an exact date for you. Now, in the updated Borderlands 4 roadmap, as you can see, that released today, the only thing listed here with an actual release date is photo mode, which came out today. So why are we releasing a roadmap that does not tell anybody anything about what is going on? Quarter 1, quarter 2, and quarter 3 is when you get your content. When is that? Who knows? That could be in September, that could be in August, it could be in June, it might be none of the above. That is when you can expect content in the game. But what can you expect from that content? Well, let's read here. Raid Boss 2, Takedown, Bounty Pack 3, Bounty Pack 4, Bounty Pack 5, Story Pack 2. It's so almost intentionally vague that it begs the question, why is it even on the roadmap? We know there is going to be content, or at least feel free to disagree with me, but I feel like everybody with half a brain and their full frontal lobe can depict that we will be getting content for this game throughout this year. You don't need to tell me there's content coming in quarter 1, quarter 2, and quarter 3, because I would expect that the money I paid for this game gives me the right to receive the content I paid for, which I would expect to release the year after the game came out, right? We dropped in September. I would expect that that next content will come in this time frame. So this roadmap to me is so laughably bad that I don't even know what the point in putting this updated view out was. Like, if you look at the first one and then you look at this one, I don't even know if you learn much apart from takedowns being shifted. And furthermore, on this roadmap, we see that they are also padding space with ongoing improvements, performance improvements, endgame balancing updates, bug fixes, and minor updates. And upcoming features, new endgame activities, cross-save, more limited time event, shared progression, and then ongoing weekly endgame activities. This is all stuff we already know. We've known that you're doing performance improvements, trust me, since day one. We've known about your balancing updates, your bug fixes, and your minor updates, because you do those every Thursday, and we've known about your weekly wildcard missions, your big encore bosses, and the Maurice's Black Market, because I cover it every Thursday. We don't need to see it in your roadmap. It looks like, to me, this is just a lot of fluff, a lot of substance that doesn't actually do much to get new players or existing players hyped up for the future of this game, which is a big problem, right? You as the player should want to play this game. You as the player should want to book time off to play this game. You as the player, if you're deciding between this expansion or a Destiny expansion, should know which one you want to play. But the difference is, if Destiny was to provide a date for their content drop in 2 months today, and Borderlands didn't, you would know which one you can book time off for. And that's a problem, because ultimately, this market is competitive, and you are fighting for the attention of players. And this roadmap, to me as a player, does not scream, we want your attention. It does not scream, please keep checking in with our game. This roadmap, to me, simply does not do that. And I think it's a very, very big misstep. But hey, at least they're talking and at least they're saying something. That's just my feedback. That's just my POV on it. You may disagree with it. You may agree with it. But regardless, that is all I have to talk about for today's update, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I've got a pretty major story coming out after this one. So make sure you stay tuned for that. A pretty big report. And I think it's going to be one you'll find very interesting. But guys, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already checked out the weekly recap on MobileX, I'll leave that link down below. In addition to the legendary drop rates guide, so you know exactly what you're farming for, how, and when. And thank you so much for watching this video. That is going to be it for me, the Evil Frogman. It's been nice croaking in with you guys. I will check you in the next one. Take it easy.